You're listening to Business Over Wine.
Hi, welcome back to Business Over Wine. We are so excited. Episode 3.
Yes.
So we are drinking Da Vinci Vintage 2015 Pinot Grigio.
Oh, yes. Let's pour it in.
Okay, so listen.
Let's do cheer.
Okay. Cheer.
That we open it.
Yes, and to episode 3.
So, what is our subject today?
Today we are going to talk about bad clients.
So you started your business, you switched to full-time, or you may be still in a part-time zone. Whatever rings your bell. You kind of organize yourself. I think that the whole issue of being unorganized and kind of still figuring out will directly reflect on bad customer service.
Right. Oh, I have a good example of this. I was supposed to put up a new page for one of my clients' new website page, talking about all of the meat products that they provide. And she gave me all the information. I sat down with her and I was like, yes, I got it. And I said, yeah, okay, I'll get to that. Well, then we met again and she's like, well, how's that going? And I swear I looked like a deer in the headlights. Yeah, and I totally dropped the ball and it felt so bad. But I got it done in that evening and I was like, here you go, here it is. Yeah. And sent it off.
Yeah, it happens. It's really, really, so I think that the concept of being organized really kind of translate on bad customer service.
Right. And we all do it. I mean, we've all had those mistakes, and I don't think no matter how long you've been in business, you're always going to screw up. A couple times, you're going to have those embarrassing moments.
Yeah,
you do. As long as you accept them.
Cheers to that.
Embarrassing moments.
If you think that you won't have a bad customer, cheers.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. If with my rule is, if I don't feel my client, I'm not taking it, because that no matter how much money they offer me, whatever they offer me, whatever they pay me, it's not worth of the headache.
Well, and that's why it's good to do consultations.
Yes, I think you should take time and just
get to know
your client.
Absolutely. And I always give my clients a 3-month probationary period. That way, either one of us, hey, it's not just for me, it's for either one of us to get out of this deal and save grace. And I flat out tell them, it's so that you can make sure that you like me and I like you. And after 3 months, if this whole partnership isn't working out, if I'm not committing and doing the things that I say I'm going to do, that we laid out in the scope of work at the very beginning, then we can walk away gracefully and tactfully without hating each other, without her or me bad-mouthing the other one.
Exactly.
And so that's what I do.
Yeah. It's when you are new to business, you will be very tempted to take everyone.
Oh yeah.
You will be on cloud 9 when you get that email. Like your email box will be empty for a week, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, months, and then you get email and you absolutely want to jump on that bone.
Right.
If you have a gut feeling that's not the person, you should not take them. Believe me, every business owner who is a little bit in business, they will tell you the same thing, because it's not worth it. Right now with the social media, they can just go and burn you alive.
Oh my God.
Burn you. There was a psychologist who wrote a book about the mentality of internet, how horrible it's becoming. It was a tool to connect people, and now it's becoming such a horrible tool that they can destroy people's life.
It can. I mean, there's cyberbullying, there's trolling, there's all of these ways to spread negativity.
Yeah, and your clients have it under their tip of the finger. Your clients can make stuff up. They can take your business down. You have to be very graceful. You have to be very cautious. So your clients have that control, and you have to be aware of it. And I think we are learning how to handle it. It's something new. People who started a business 20 years ago, they didn't have to.
They could just say, get the hell out.
Well, they had, they have a box for
suggestion box,
and it was they would never open it. And word of mouth was, one of those things. And people were like, well, but that lady is crazy anyway, so I won't. Now that crazy lady can go on the internet and she can
ruin your Facebook, your Google.
And she can ask her friends
Yelp,
to do
and then
this.
and then she can get her posse of psycho friends to help you out.
So it's I think the new area of businesses is just we are facing something new.
Right.
Like it's really different too. You know, when you will hit that moment in your life when you have people going after you, you have to remember it's a mob mentality.
Well, and
People will feel entitled for you to tell you that they want you to get hurt, to lose your business.
And you should be flattered, because if you're at that point, people are paying attention to you.
Yeah. If some people want to be mad, they will be mad no matter what you try, and they will read between the lines. They will
Even
twist.
if there is nothing there.
Yeah, they will twist your words. It's very unfortunate, because that's what we deal as business owners right now. People twisting our words.
Yeah.
There's
a lot of entitlement.
Yeah.
A lot. I'm noticing both when people are in front of you and on the internet. People nowadays feel more entitled than I've ever seen.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't really get it.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, you know, and maybe it's because I am a business owner, and so I get what these business owners are putting out there.
Yeah.
And how hard they work. But for somebody to come in and be like, you know, feel entitled to something specific, I don't know. I just
Yeah. So it's a nature of the business right now. But going back to the subject of the clients, because we keep drifting off with the.
It's the wine.
It's the wine. So, you know, now your business is exposed to that hatery. I think it's hatery. It's just like you read those comments, and it's just very deep rooted hatery. I see those people like sitting. I'm like, first of all, do you have time through your day to write an essay in the freaking comments?
Oh my gosh!
About
Have you
subject?
seen?
I literally do this.
Some people's Yelp. If your comment, your hate comment out there anywhere is like more than a paragraph long, or more than a few sentences,
Yeah.
I'm not going to read it.
I noticed that especially in our town, we have a very large Facebook local group for businesses. And people can advertise their businesses. They can talk about the positive experience of their business.
Only positives.
So I noticed that people who do not run the business, and they never run their business and have nothing to lose,
Business sense, or
they will go gloves off.
Oh yeah.
Knee deep, and they will go. They will try their best to destroy that business.
I mean, and I understand. So I understand you're passionate, and I understand that something is bothering you.
Yeah.
But it's hard to, I don't know, it's hard to grasp where some of these people come from.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I get that
Maybe
you had a bad
her
experience.
husband is beating her.
Yeah. I mean, like,
You never
I
know.
get that you had a bad experience, but is this something in your life that's going to affect you?
Yeah.
Like, will you not be able to pay your bills? Or
Yeah.
will you not be able to live your life without
Yeah.
this? I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. Well, so with the I didn't have that many bad experiences. I got that feeling, like you. I get the feeling when I meet someone, I'm like, red flag.
You get out now, like
I'm
before.
like, okay, well, I think I can manage. Sometimes I can manage. I'm like, okay, I have enough experience to manage that client. I have an amazing contract in place. And it's, you know, for me to actually sit down with my clients and line up how things unroll through the process. When you tell people, when you educate them, they cannot, when you give them something to sign and you sit down with them and read through it, there's not much of wiggle room. No. They cannot come back and say, well, you didn't say that. I just don't want them in that place to tell me like, well, you didn't tell me that.
Well, I don't do so much contracts, but I do scope of works in my line of work.
Yeah.
So I do lay out the job description, and so it's very specific to the job, and we both have to agree upon it, because I don't want to get halfway through the process and you tell me, well, I told you this and you did this.
Yeah.
So I do something similar.
Yeah.
But when you work in retail, you can't do that. It's, you know, it's,
yeah.
But what you can do is you can do the best to your ability within your own personal morals and customer service and beliefs, And if at that point this person is still being, difficult and impossible, you can just kindly say, I'm sorry, we were not able to help you, sir. You're going to need to leave.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that I have one rule, where I deal with a lot of written messages. Nowadays everything is digital. When you're on the phone, it's a different story. When you are in person, it's a completely different story. But when it comes to the written messages, sometimes I get an email, and in my mind when I read it, I imagine that person saying it to me, and it's always like the worst. Yeah. Like, if there's no punctuation or there's exclamations or something in capital, I'm like, whoa, you don't have to yell at me. Yeah. But you never know. Maybe that person is trying to actually explain stuff to you,
or maybe their kid hit caps lock.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things which when you read. So I have one rule. When I reply to a customer, I reply the way I would like to be replied. Yeah. No matter if it's shitty message, if it's cussing, I always reply. If you put something in writing, it has to be professional. When you get really, really upset client, you have to let them talk.
Yeah.
Just let them unload and say, yes, sir, yes, ma'am. Just let them be respectful.
Let them get it out.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of things that you can do in order to defuse the situation.
Yeah.
So that your customers aren't so pissed off or angry. And
you have to own it.
Yeah.
You do. And I always try to own it. Like, this is my business. No one will tell me how to run it. And if something goes south, I will say no matter, and you have to, with time, you will see that customers use words, I feel, I believe. When I hear, I feel, I believe, this is something not tangible, because you cannot say how people feel.
Right.
The white wine makes me feel wonderful. Someone else will say, well, the white wine makes me feel awful. It's the same product. We are humans. We should have the same experience. We don't.
Right.
So when I hear those words, I tell myself, okay, they are in a very gray zone.
Well,
I cannot say them.
Feel is one of my wiggle words, because it's perceived completely different from one person to another. The other thing to be aware of when you're dealing with customer service and you're dealing with paper or written messages, for example, text messages, Facebook, any kind of way that your clients are getting a hold of you, email, understand the mood that you're in when you're reading these.
Yeah.
Well, anytime, you walk into a situation, you bring your own emotions into it.
Yeah.
And so it's very important to be aware of that, because I have totally been guilty, and thank God, I because of my training and because I understand, I'm able to understand this, but I've totally read an email where customers like, hey, I didn't get that thumb drive. You said you left it here on my door, but I can't find it. And I'm like,
the first instinct is like,
yeah. And because I'm in a bad mood, and I'm like, are you kidding me? And then I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, well, and take a step back. I'll either go and find
something else to do.
Yeah. Take a break.
There was actually a rule that you should never reply to, if you get angry email, angry message, angry voicemail, you never reply right away.
To be proactive about it, not take it personally, understand, try and take a step back and be like, okay, this totally does piss me off, because this is my work, sweat, blood, and my life.
Yeah.
But I need to be a little bit more level-headed.
Yeah. You're a business owner.
Take a break.
Yeah, it's not personal.
Wait.
It's people always. It's another cheesy thing, like when customer is always right. Another cheesy thing is that it's not personal, because we will take it personal.
Well, we do, because it's our life.
It's our baby. Yeah. It's like when we created
it's our passion.
We are talking about it. We live with it. It's in our veins. So when someone say, "Hey, you suck," you're like,
it feels like somebody rips the heart out of your chest.
It feels awful. But you have to remember,
it's not personal to them.
Yeah, you are one of the many little things in their life, and you never know what's happening. So the rule of I have actually a rule now. After I had a bad experience in this town, 24 hours.
That's my rule, 24 hours.
I will actually sit down and type my angry message.
Right away.
In
a Word
just let it
document.
loose.
Yeah.
And I will actually
After
give it
24 hours,
Yeah.
you go back and review it. So
I
that's my
review
rule.
it, rewrite it, and I will actually give it to my husband to review. My husband is so level-headed. I will tell him, like, do you think it's professional? Do you think it's resolved the situation? Do you think my information provided that is useful?
Well, and I usually tell my husband the situation and tell him how I'm going to reply.
A couple cuss words in between.
Right. He's really good at taking the opposite side.
Yeah.
So he's really good at being the opposer, being the person putting himself in their shoes.
Yeah.
And then kind of explaining to me, like, well, okay, let's try and understand their point of view. And so we'll have it out for like all of 10 minutes until I get it. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then I'll go back and be like, okay.
You will get those clients who will try to get you into the position that you will give them stuff for free. They will make you feel
like you owe it to them.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's it. Will take time. Valuing. I think that I will have a whole episode on that. Valuing your work and valuing your time and understanding that you are
worth what you say.
Yeah, and you are a giver. You're providing something they're looking for.
Yes.
So if they're bitching about it, you have to either understand you have to get to the point like, is it my fault? Is there anything I can do? Or they are basically bargain shoppers.
Yeah. Understand that sometimes you just have to re-educate or educate your clients.
Or sometimes go back to and sit down with the client and let's
remind them and go over it
talk
again.
about it. Let's talk about it, because anytime you take it face to face,
we need to go through this again.
So it's, with dealing with a client, there's so much. I always try to, when I talk to any business owner who are dealing with something bad, I always try to say, you have to remember that you cannot let off the control.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You are in control of your business. You make it as best as it can be.
Yeah.
You have a full control. Complaining and bitching about bad clients is giving people power over your business.
It is.
I mean, like, if you live in a fear, if you're scared of bad customers or competition, whatever, it will hold you back. You will never go anywhere. But, the bad customers, bad reviews, and competition. I think those are like 3 crucial things.
And you learn from every single one. I mean, because in some instances, you're going to see bad customers where, yes, you were in the fault and this is how you're going to rectify the situation and correct it for next time. You're going to see bad customers that are just difficult. It was not your fault. You did everything in your power, and now you've accepted that and you're going to move on. And so either way you look at it, you're going to see these customers in 2 different categories. You're going to say either either I tried or I didn't, or either I tried or
there's nothing to do. Just crazy town.
You're done. We're done.
Crazy town.
And you're going to be okay with that. The sooner you learn how to accept, you're going to get these bad people in your life. You're going to get these trolls on the internet. You're going to get this cyberbullying. You're going to get and as soon as you understand that it's not about you, it's about them.
Yeah.
And
they will project
their insecurities.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to handle the situation a little bit better.
I'm a leader of Tuesday Together, which is local chapter of Rising Tide Society. In North Carolina, I was a leader of photography group. And we got a lady posting up, and she was talking about her session, and she had this, she took a chalk and wrote on the sidewalk some kind of baby announcement or something. Well, she wrote it in front of a historic place. We had the Pelletier House in North Carolina. It was the founders of the town. Well, some of the ladies in the group did not like it. The F this, F that, this is ridiculous, and I keep finding this chalk. It really took out of they really let loose on that lady.
Poor thing.
And she was trying to kind of patch it up, but they didn't allow it because, again, mob mentality, and they went off. So I halfway through that huge thread, like there's nothing better firing people to participate and being productive than criticizing someone.
And understanding, so this brings a good point, understanding the mob mentality doesn't just mean in person, in physical. I mean, we see it in these riots in big cities. The mob mentality totally takes over on social media.
Yeah.
One person says something ugly and another person feels a little bit more braver, and all of a sudden, before you know it, you have an entire thread of hate.
Yeah.
Be okay with just being like, you know what?
Delete.
Goodbye.
Yeah. So I actually blocked some girls out. I kicked them out. Again, the whole internet, a written word is very, people can dwell on the one word.
And we've all done it. Okay, so just recently, a friend of mine asked me to send him some very specific beef jerky. He's in Iraq. He's overseas, and his platoon wanted some of this northern New Mexico beef jerky. So he was like extremely specific, down to like the flavor of beef jerky I had to get. And so I had like very little wiggle room, first of all, to
go somewhere else.
Feel entitled. But anyway, I called this company up, and the first time I called them up, I said, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is who I'm doing it for. You know, it's for our troops in Iraq. Would you be willing? I'm going to be buying like a lot, like $200, $300 worth of beef jerky. Would you be willing to help us out? And he was like, no, click. Literally said no and hung up on me. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to try back in a week.
Yeah.
So I tried back in a week, and I said, hi, it's so-and-so again. Didn't even bring up the topic of, will you help us out? I was like, what are your hours of operation? I'd like to go down there. They're 2 hours away from where I live right now. And I'm like, what are your hours? And he was like, our hours are 8 to 5, click. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe he's just a busy guy. Still desperately trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. And then, okay, so I'm like, okay, my dad ends up being in town in Albuquerque at that moment, at that time. And I'm like, okay, well, you know, Dad, will you pick it up? It's 3 o'clock. This guy said he was closed at 5. It's Friday afternoon, right before, what's the most recent holiday we had? Columbus Day? I don't know. We don't celebrate holidays. We work. We're business owners.
Yeah.
What holiday?
Yeah.
Anyway, it was a Friday before some 3-day weekend. And it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So I'm like, Dad, this is where they're located. And he's like, I can't find them. There's nobody here. And I'm like, Dad, it's a food truck looking thing. Like, it's literally a trailer. You just go look around the parking lot. And he's like, they're not here. So I'm calling their phone number and it's not working. And then I finally find a different 1-800 number and I call that and that works. So I'm like, okay, first of all, your regular phone number doesn't work. I've been calling you since like 2:30 or 2:30 this afternoon and you didn't answer. But then this guy's like, well, we closed because it's the early holiday. Why would you do that? Like, why wouldn't you post that on your Facebook? Or, I looked on your Facebook. I'm like, all of your information is wrong. And he's like, no, ma'am, I picked up the phone. I picked up this number and I'm telling him the phone number I called. And he's like, well, that's our 1-800 number. And I'm like, I get that. I called your local line and it didn't work. Still trying to be tactful here. And my, I'm like
pressure
right here. I'm like right freaking here with this guy. And he says, well, I'm sorry, but we're closed. And I'm like, we had over $200 to spend with you. We live 2 hours away from where you're located. This is for our troops in Iraq. It's not even for me personally. And I just completely unloaded. I lost it. I'm like, you effing moron. Like, what the F is wrong with you? And I'm like completely losing it on this guy. I'm like, I am a business owner myself and I would never treat anybody this way. You are such an effing moron. Blah, blah, blah. And I hang up on this guy. The minute I did it, I was like, Oh my God, I am that person. I am his worst customer.
Yeah.
And this guy, I have to say, handled it with the utmost of integrity. He called me back. He was like, we'll be open in 15 minutes. I will come back. I am so sorry. I want to help you out. I understand, but you yelling at me is not going to solve the situation. I mean, completely freaking fantastic customer service.
He handed you.
And I felt like such an ass. And I was like, wow.
But he pushed you to the point that...
Good job. But I did when I calmed down, I was like, well, just FYI, your phone number's not working.
Yeah.
And if you do close in the future, I would suggest updating your social media to post.
Yeah.
At least saying something like, hey, we're going to close early on Friday.
Yeah. Anytime you handle a difficult client, you have to remember that there's probably 500,000 other business owners who, like you, offering the same. I'm not unique in my service. Yeah. Like, they can take it somewhere else. Always check yourself in, have those tools in place, and you have to remember that they chose you, and you need to be appreciative of that. And I think if more business owners in town would be appreciative of the fact that someone chose them to purchase or use their service, it would be so much easier. We talk our hearts out. What time
we did. It's 8:15.
Oh my goodness, it's a late evening for us, and we had wonderful wine.
We did. It was very, very good. These Pinot Grigios are a little stronger though.
Yeah. So please subscribe to our channel. Follow us on social media. We are here to help you. You can...
If you have any suggestions about good wines, let us know.
Yes, exactly.
We've got a great bottle opener now, so...
So please stay with us. If you have any suggestions, leave the comment.
Yes, and thank you so much for joining us in our episode 3.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys next time.
See you later.